Alright, so moving on to the next segment. We're going to switch gears from the NBA side to the football side of things from college football. I will be sharing my mock draft 2.0. And I'll be sharing which player, and in this segment, I will also be sharing what players I do believe will make an impact once they are drafted in their rookie seasons. So, my mock draft 2.0. If you guys haven't checked out my mock draft 1.0, was in an episode a few weeks ago. Now this is my 2.0 heading into April's draft of the NBA draft, NFL draft, excuse me. So starting with the number one overall pick, I had the Indianapolis Colts trading up and exchanging their pick with the Chicago Bears, who I'll get to in a few moments. But I do believe the Indianapolis Colts will have the first overall pick. And the first overall pick in my 2.0 mock draft is Bryce Young, quarterback from Alabama. Now, I've heard Jim Irsay say that he loves Bryce Young. I think he would fit very well in their offensive scheme moving forward, especially after the Colts hired Shane Steichen, former offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles. Moving forward, Bryce Young would definitely fit well in Shane Steichen's offense heading into next season. So why not trade up and get him? The reason why they need to trade up and get him, they are desperate to find their franchise quarterback after Andrew Luck retired before the 2019 season started, weeks before the 2019 season started, unfortunately. But they have been through hell and back trying to find an answer at the quarterback position. They've been going through veteran quarterbacks like water. We have seen Philip Rivers, Jacoby Brissett fit the bill in 2019. We've seen Philip Rivers on his last leg fit the bill in the 2020 season. We've seen Carson Wentz fit the bill in the 2021 season. We then saw Matt Ryan fit the bill in the 2022 season. Enough with the veteran quarterbacks. It's just not working for you. You done ran through this process. You done ran through this system, getting veteran quarterbacks to play for you for one season, going through it like water. It's time to go ahead and draft your franchise quarterback. Why not go up and make a statement, getting the first overall pick so you can select, even if you don't want Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, or Will Levis. I can't wait to talk about him. But regardless, staying on track, go up and get your franchise guy. Size should not matter for Bryce Young heading into this draft. Scouts should not be scared away by this guy's height and by this guy's weight. This guy has already announced that he's going to meet with a nutritionist over the next couple of weeks to put on lean muscle mass, put on more muscle, healthy muscle. Moving forward, and his height shouldn't scare anybody. We've seen successful quarterbacks stand at 5'11" in the NFL. Look at Russell Wilson. He's one of the best quarterbacks that this generation has to offer. Former Super Bowl quarterback. And then we're going to see a guy that's one day going to be in the NFL Hall of Fame that was also 5'11" in Drew Brees. So size should not matter. I do believe that Bryce Young has the skills and the tangibles to be a generational talent. The plays he can make with his arm, the plays he can make with his leg, the plays he can make in the pocket, the way that he can extend plays in the pocket with his legs and make accurate throws. Bryce Young has the ability to be a franchise guy and a generational talent. Go ahead, Indianapolis Colts, and get up and get your guy. Second overall, the Houston Texans, I have them selecting C.J. Stroud, quarterback from Ohio State. Texans are officially in a new era with the new head coach and DeMeco Ryans, former defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers, landed the job. He is now there to help the rebuild and for things to get better out there in Houston for the Houston Texans. He will be looking for his new franchise quarterback. And what a better way to start off by you have the second overall pick in the draft. Go ahead and get your franchise quarterback at C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud has showed to me that he is more than ready and more than capable of being an efficient NFL starter in this league. He's big, he's strong, he's an accurate passer, he's a strong guy, can make plays in the pocket, strong, accurate throws. Look at the championship, look at the playoff game, I should say, against Georgia. We've seen him do everything that he can in the pocket, that he's more than capable, more than ready to be an NFL starter. Texans, go ahead and get C.J. Stroud. He's definitely a guy that can build around your franchise. For the meantime, it's going to be some small success in the meantime. But they have some young guys in Houston that can build around C.J. Stroud, and they that are currently on their roster. So go ahead and get him and groom him up for the rebuild. That's who I believe they should select at 2. At 3, I have the Arizona Cardinals. They will be selecting Will Anderson Jr., outside linebacker from Alabama. New head coach, former defensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles, Jonathan Gannon, who is a defensive guy, will be taking the best defensive player on the board at 3. The Cardinals are in need of a new pass rusher that's going to make immediate impact on the football field. They need to have that guy there. J.J. Watt just retired. Officially retired. So Will Anderson Jr. can be that guy that can step up to be that huge playmaker, that huge third down difference when your defense needs to stop or a sack, or create pressure on the quarterback. I see a lot of flashes in his game that can help him be a successful pass rusher in the NFL. I see from when I watch the game, when I watched him play in college, when I look on the film, I see a glimpse of him being a Khalil Mack. See a glimpse of him being a Von Miller. See a glimpse of him being a speedy pass rusher like Micah Parsons. I think I think Will Anderson is going to make an impact for this team. Go ahead and draft him at 3. At 4, the Chicago Bears, I had them selecting Jalen Carter, defensive tackle from Georgia. It's going to make the most sense to trade back if you're the Chicago Bears. There's no need for a quarterback. There's a lot of teams that are going to be wanting to jump the gun to draft their franchise quarterback, whether that be the Texans or the Colts, Raiders. Any team that's in need of a franchise quarterback, they're going to be calling the Bears. And go ahead and take the best offer come draft night or before the draft to trade yourself out of 1. There's no need to draft a Will Anderson at 1 or a Jalen Carter at 1, where you can trade back in the draft, get more draft compensation for a defensive player that's going to be there at 3 or 4 anyway. Justin Fields is your franchise quarterback. There's no need to go ahead and draft a Bryce Young or a C.J. Stroud to replace him. Build around Justin Fields. You have failed. The Chicago front office has failed to give Justin Fields the weapons that he deserves. Go ahead and build around him. No point in drafting a quarterback and starting over again. Jalen Carter, though, has been the best defensive tackle in the country over the last few years. He would be a difference maker on the defensive line and definitely a 3-down guy that could be on the field making a difference on your defensive line in the trenches on a game basis. Whether that's stopping the run or whether that's piling up sacks, Jalen Carter could be a difference maker on the defensive line. Bears, go ahead and get him and get more draft compensation, trading out of the first overall pick. At 5, I have the Seattle Seahawks selecting Tyrese Wilson, edge rusher from Texas Tech. This defense needs more defensive difference makers on the front 7. Pete Carroll has came out and said that they need more effort from the front 7 and definitely need a difference maker on the front 7 for next NFL season. Why not get Tyree Wilson, who would fit the bill? He's 6'6", weighs in at 276 pounds, and could be a matchup nightmare on the defensive line as an edge rusher. And I think that could be the guy that can make the difference for the Seattle Seahawks next year on the defensive side of the ball. Now I'll be sharing the players that can make an immediate impact in their rookie seasons. These guys are under the radar to me. I think these guys are going to be late first round picks, but time will tell. We'll see. But these guys, I do believe, wherever they're drafted in the first round, I do believe they can make immediate impacts for their team, for their roster, in their rookie season. Starting off with quarterback Anthony Richardson from Florida. He's a project to mold. He's not one of the best quarterbacks heading into the draft. In my opinion, I would say he's the 4th best quarterback heading into the draft. He's a project to mold. In order to bring the best out of Anthony Richardson, I think you need to put him in a great offensive system. He needs accuracy work. Yes, I see the throws that he's making on the air. I see how he gets the ball out of his hands. I see that he has a great poise throwing the football, yes, against air. But what I saw at Florida this year, he has some accuracy problems that needs to be addressed once he becomes the NFL quarterback. But if you could work on his accuracy, I do believe he could be a steal in the NFL draft. He's really a good player. He could be used in his rookie season. He doesn't have to start by any means. He could be drafted to a team like the Carolina Panthers, who could sit him for some time. Maybe a team like the Detroit Lions, who can learn under Jared Goff whenever they want to move off of him. A team like that, he can learn some things from these guys that he's going to learn from. Maybe you can use Anthony Richardson in a similar way how Lamar Jackson was used in his rookie year for the Baltimore Ravens. He was used in short yardage situations when you need a 3rd-and-1 conversion, when you need a touchdown conversion at the goal line. That's what the Baltimore Ravens used Lamar Jackson in his rookie year when he sat under Joe Flacco for the first half of the NFL season. Maybe you can use him a similar way how Sean Payton and the New Orleans Saints used Taysom Hill for the years at the quarterback position for the New Orleans Saints. Use him in as a running back. Use him in as a quarterback. Read options. Use him at any way you can. Get the best out of Anthony Richardson's skills asset. But I think he can make an immediate impact if he's molded up and groomed up the right way. Moving on, we have Bijan Robinson, running back from Texas University. Man, I would be licking my chops at any team that needs a running back within the first round, towards the end of the first round draft. I'm not even going to lie. I would love if the Dallas Cowboys got their hands on Bijan Robinson. He fits the bill to me. He's everything you want in a running back coming out of college. By far the best running back heading into the NFL draft. He's the best NFL running back prospect that the NFL draft has seen since 2018 when Saquon Barkley came out from Penn State. That's how good Bijan Robinson is at the running back position. When I look at Bijan Robinson's game, when I watched him at Texas this past season, when I look at the film, he's a physical running back that has great cutting ability. His change of direction you cannot teach. He's a physical guy. He's nearly flawless and can make plays out of the backfield as a receiving back. I think this would be a great steal for anybody getting him in the first round. Definitely for a team to look out that needs a running back late in the first round. Bijan Robinson is going to make an impact for any NFL franchise that drafts him. And last player that I do believe can make an immediate impact is Jackson Smith-Njigba, wide receiver from Ohio State. Unfortunately, due to the fact that he missed some time last year, we really didn't get to see much of him. He'll be a late first round steal for anybody that's in the later rounds from 20 to all the way to 32 in the late in the first round. Jackson Smith-Njigba is going to be a steal for any team that was in the playoffs last year, whether that's the Dallas Cowboys who need receiver help, whether that's the Philadelphia Eagles who get somebody to play alongside of A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, whether that's the Kansas City Chiefs who could use him as a new wide receiver, their new toy in that offense to play alongside Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. Those three teams I definitely believe are going to be jockeying for position to get Jackson Smith-Njigba if he's there when their teams are up on the board late in the first round. In my opinion, I do believe that Jackson Smith-Njigba is the best wide receiver heading into this draft class. He's just going to fall because he had an injury last year. But I do believe he's the best guy in this draft class at his position. He's a great inside route runner. Very competitive as a route runner. And if you have any questions on how special this guy is, turn on the tape of the 2022 game, the Rose Bowl game, where you saw Ohio State and Utah put on together, both of those respective programs put together one of the best Rose Bowl games in college football history. But look at the performance that Jackson Smith-Njigba had. He had the best receiving game in Rose Bowl history. This should tell you how special a player he is. He had 15 catches for 347 yards in one college football game. If you have your doubts about him, just put on the tape and watch him. He's a special inside route runner. He's a competitive route runner. He's just going to be a special player once he grooms into being a NFL wide receiver. It's definitely going to be the steal of the draft. But that is my NFL Mock Draft 2.0, and those are the players that I believe that's going to fly under the radar late in the first round. That's going to make an immediate impact for their team and their rookie seasons.